Welcome to episode 11 of the Monday Minute for business owners, the pot of cash in the corner. Many business owners constrain their growth and their ability to scale because they think too small. They work on the basis of how much money they think the bank would give them or how much an investor would give them. I like to approach things differently. I assume the ability to raise finance is infinite. Because if you've got a good management team, you've got a good strategy and the ability to deliver that, then I believe that you will always be able to raise the funding that you need in order to achieve those goals. So I speak to my clients regularly about the pot of cash in the corner. So the arrangement is there's a pot of cash in the corner and you can take out of that pot as much of that cash as you want. Now you've got to pay for it. The first amount of the cash that you would take out would be anything relating to grant finance because it's free. So you take as much of the grant finance as you can. And then you would go back and you would look for perhaps loans that have a reduced interest rate. Next, you would then start looking at term loans, asset finance, and invoice finance, which is basically forms of bank funding secured on these assets. And that tends to be cheaper than equity finance and other forms of investment. So that allows the business owner to approach things with the abundance mindset that that there is funding there if they have the right idea and the right opportunity. And the best way, in my opinion, is to take as much debt as you can, bearing in mind the gearing of the business, the risk profile, and considering the cost of the interest for that and the repayment profile. Clearly, the business has to make enough cash to enable it to pay that interest and to make the repayments as required. Then the business should look at equity investment. Then the business owner would typically look at equity or investment, and that means that an external party will invest money into the business and they'll become shareholders. So they'll have an equity stake in the business. And along with that comes certain obligations that the business owner has towards these investors, and similarly investors have certain rights and protections that are put in place, which is only fair and equitable. The key in all of this is having good information. You need to have your good historic information and you need to have good forecast information. You need to be able to explain to either the bank or the investors what you're going to do with the money. And actually you want to know yourself, what are you going to do with that money? Are you going to make sure that the business is going to generate more profits, it's going to increase shareholder value, and it's going to take you along the journey that you're on in terms of getting to exit at some point further down the line? So clearly, if you know where you are, where you've been, and where you're going, that makes it much easier. And if you've got a well thought through strategy and the management team to deliver that, it allows you to not limit your thinking. So next time you're thinking of funding, don't think that I can only get 100,000 or I can only get $1 million or I can only get £5 million. Think of it the other way. Think of how much of that money will you take, what will you do with it, and what will that do to your business? Don't limit your thinking. If you would like to hear more of my Monday Minutes for business owners, please follow me, connect with me, and I'll see you again next week. Thank you.